fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya, and, well, how he has been. Now, Izuku Midoriya, he has found himself to be on Sakaar, a planet known for being dangerous and the strong survive. Now, Midoriya woke up with no memory about what happened, as, asking Rogue who was with them, she pointed out that this date was the last thing she does remember, which was 8 months after Midoriya's memory. Now, Midoriya was confused. However, he did piece together that Charles is the one that sent them here, along with him learning that about 55% of the mutant population has been murdered. Now, with that being said, it has been 1 month since Midoriya has landed on Sakaar with the Hulk and Rogue. Now, Midoriya, he does wake up today, as he does make himself visible before the doors do open. And he would go to stand up. Now, as he would do this, he would walk over to the wall and pull his sword out, as the guards do talk about how today it's only going to be those 3. Now, Midoriya is surprised, as Meek does go on talking about how they are warbound, and they must all travel together. They are hive. They are, as Midoriya would say, family. Now, Midoriya would just walk past Meek, and actually bend down on one knee for 1 second, telling Meek that he shouldn't worry. Besides, they're the strongest ones in here. To which Korg would tell Midoriya to not underestimate them. I wasn't underestimating you. I just don't think I've seen you at full power. I've seen Hulk, strong as he's ever been. And me, I'm pretty good too. Besides, my friend here, she's more dangerous than me. Except I'm a bit more immune to her little touch. Now, Rogue would actually go to hit Midoriya on his back, telling him to not underestimate her in the strength department. Sure. Now, she would just walk over and ask Hulk if she can, well, mimic his power. To which the Hulk wouldn't really care. Now, the guard would watch as she does bring her hand up, and it does then turn green along with some muscle beginning to grow on her body. Now, the guard would make a note of that, as the 3 of them are allowed to leave this area. Now, they are guided to the battlefield, where the Red King would announce that the top 3 competitors here today, they are going to be given an option, and they are going to be given a fight. Now, he would go on talking about how they can either join his warbound, or they can face off against a great foe, and try to claim their freedom. Him talking about how he'll have to face off against 3 champions. Now, this does seem to be quite peculiar. And there actually is Rogue, who would think about it for 1 second. However, she does just look at the woman guarding the Red King, wondering why she doesn't have an obedience disc. Now, Rogue would actually turn to Midoriya and ask him if he's thinking about that. No. Not really. Besides, think about it like this. It's us. Even if we join him, he's not going to let us go. Besides, I've got some shit to work through. What I would say. Him actually bringing his hands up and popping his knuckles. Rogue just saying that she can understand that. Now, the Hulk would just look down at these two and say that he does like how they think. Now, the Hulk would inform the Red King that they are not joining him, and they will take their chances in the arena. Now, the Red King, he knew this outcome, obviously, and he does want to at least get the crowd warmed up before their champions fight. Now, he would have various champions and other members of the Gladiatorial Arena games fight against these three. And it's quite interesting, since you do see how these three fight. Rogue is a bit more hands-on in combat, and she goes for grappling techniques along with something that would pose skin-to-skin contact with another person, as she does drain people's life force, and ultimately take on their power and their strength. Now, this is quite interesting, as the Red King also does watch Izuku, as him and a man are both clashing swords and fighting. As Midoriya, he does run forwards as he does throw the sword over his head, before smashing downwards as the other guy does block it, and try to throw Midoriya away. Now, this does catch Midoriya off guard, as Midoriya he does go flying backwards before he does just use his abilities. And he does then move back forwards, flying directly towards the guy, as he does bring the sword down into the dirt and go to scoop some up into the guy's face. The more he does bring his sword upwards and smash down with it as hard as he can. The guy being able to block it, but the two do shatter their weapons. And the moment this does actually happen, Midoriya just does grab onto the hilt of the blade, before just bringing it backwards and smashing it across the guy's face hard, as he does bring up his other hand and go to punch him as hard as he can up into the gut, as he punches a hole straight through him. Now, the moment this does happen, Midoriya he does just pull his hand backwards, and the guy does drop, as Midoriya just does look at his blade, before just tossing it, and then turning to look at the Red King. Now, the Red King is very interested. This boy fights dirty. He's smart. Now, there is then the next couple warriors, which are taken down. And then the crowd does begin to try and chant for the champions. And, well, this is going to be fun, as you do have the Silver Surfer, who he would come walking out. And this does actually catch him as surprised, since the Surfer, he didn't expect to see Hulk here, let alone two other humans. Now, the Surfer does remember the Hulk, as he does try to ask him if he can get them out of here. To which the Hulk won't really even bother to answer the question, going to rush towards the Surfer and fight him. Now, there is actually then Midoriya and Rogue, who do both just stand there waiting for the Hulk to either give up or win. As Midoriya would turn to Rogue, asking her if she's got money on the surfer guy. I'd say Hulk. You sure? 'Cause I think I've heard of him. Probably. I don't know. Haven't the Fantastic Four gone up against a guy like that before? I think so. But doesn't he mean something? Isn't he an omen or something like that, right? Yeah. Now, the Red King would just order these two into combat. Since they are war-bound, they fight side by side, not alone. Now, Midori and Rogue do both then rush in. As Midori, he does come flying in as the surfer does blast away the Hulk. And the Hulk, he does have to regenerate a part of his face and torso, as he does lay on the ground bleeding green blood, which would rejuvenate the soil. Now, Midori does come flying in, and the surfer does go to try and throw a punch. However, Midori, he does just bring up his arm and block it. The surfer smashing into it as a shockwave is formed. And Midori, he actually does then bring back his right arm and smash the surfer across his face. To which the crowd, they do cheer at. And the Red King, he's taken aback. Since Midori just landed a solid blow on a champion and knocked him off of his feet. Now, Midoriya and the surfer do get into a fist fight, as Rogue does come in and actually go to try and grab the surfer and get him into a headlock, to try and siphon off his power. Now, the moment this actually has happened, the surfer, he does just start to spin, and then he does actually move backwards and smash into a wall, before being able to bring his hands up and grab Rogue by her wrist, as he does then start to pry her arms out from behind him. As Midori, he's smashing his fist upwards in the surfer's gut. Now, he does then throw his head backwards, before smashing it forwards and breaking Midoriya's nose. Now, Rogue will go falling backwards and slam into the wall, as she does go to bring her hand up and blast away with the power cosmic. Now, whenever she does hit the surfer in the back, this does quite alarm him, because that was actually very painful. And he does go to fall forwards onto his knees, as he does then look up to see Midoriya, who does have blood running down his face and onto his left armor bracer, as he does this look down at the surfer, and asking him if he's ever heard of the Void. What? No. Good, because I expect you to remember that. But rather than just bring up his right leg and kicking the surfer in the head, and sending him flying. Now, with that, Midoriya then does bring up both of his hands, and go to try and throw out his fingers towards the surfer. However, you do have the Hulk, who does just jump up into the air and bring his hands over his head, as he does just smash the surfer back down into the ground, before going down and landing on him. Now, the surfer, he does actually go to bring his hands up, and he does actually go to bring his leg out underneath him, as he's getting ready to throw an attack at the Hulk. Now, the fight would go on for quite some time, and the Hulk, he's being sent flying out of the arena, as Midoriya and Rogue do actually try and fight more, as it does boil down to a punching contest. Now, the Red King was quite interested. After the green Sakaar, as the people of Sakaar call him, was sent flying, he had him set on standby, and he did want to test this champion. As you do have Midoriya and the Silver Surfer. Midoriya's body does look to be in top physical condition. However, you can tell from just looking at him that he's very fatigued, and that his healing factor has been slowing down. And you do actually look at the Surfer, who despite having a silver gleam to him, upon closer inspection, he is very damaged, as Midoriya and the Surfer are just throwing punches over and over at each other. Midoriya actually throwing a punch and hitting the Surfer, as the Surfer does go to bring up his hand and slam it upwards into Midoriya's gut. As Midoriya, he actually does go to grab the Surfer by his head, and get him into a headlock. Now, Midoriya then actually does go to grab him by one of his legs, and go to slam him over his head. Before doing that, he does then just pin him to the ground, as he would tell the Surfer to yield. Now, the Surfer cannot fight anymore, and whenever ordered to by the Red King, he can't even get up. Now, the Red King, he is impressed. The battle that these two fought went on for almost 8 hours straight, and it was impressive. Interesting. So he would be a valuable asset to my empire, and my ruling of the planet. Along with that, if I turn him against the Green One, then ultimately I win. Now, you do actually then have Midoriya, who does go falling backwards to the right, as the guards do come over. Now, they would pick Midoriya up onto his feet, as they do drag him over to Rogue. Now, she does go to actually move closer to get the guards away from Midoriya, as they do drop him. Now, this would be then whenever Midoriya, he is picked up, and Rogue does ask him if he's alright. When's the next fight? Oh, please, you got fucked up. Did I win? Yeah, you won. Besides, I bet you had your fun. Please, whatever that power was that you got your hands on, you had fun with, didn't you? Yeah, I did. Now, these three are then taken back to their cells, or the giant room they all do inhabit. And everyone is alarmed to see Midoriya, since he's beaten to a bloody pulp. Now, they do ask what happened, and they do actually get on the Hulk for allowing this to happen, to which he would inform them that the king ordered him not to intervene. Besides, the boy had fun. Now, you do actually then have Rogue, who, after sitting Midoriya up against a wall, does ask him if he's okay. As she does bring her hands up and put Midoriya's nose back into place. Midoriya barely even grunting at that, telling her that it was fun. Yeah, you said that already. But yeah, that's one down. 2 more to go. Maybe you can beat the next one. Doubtful. Remember? Time limit. That's only if you let them go. Yeah. Next to when you fight, don't let go. That's different. How? Because I don't like using my powers on living beings like that for too long. Yeah. I mean, that's how I gained my ability to fly, but doing that, not very good memories. I've hurt someone like that before, and ultimately it scared me. So, yeah, asking me to just kill someone like that, it's like asking me to live a nightmare all over again. I get it. Don't worry about it. Roy would say, as he does lean backwards. Rogue then asking him if he's gonna be okay. Hmm? Yeah, just let my healing factor kick in. Tsk. Please, are you gonna spare that healing factor for me too? Tsk. Midoriya holding up his hand and saying that she can try to take it. Her putting her fingers onto Midoriya's palm and just thinking for 1 minute. She's not used to this feeling. What is it? Her powers, they can't hurt him. And it's nice. She doesn't feel like she has to hold back. She doesn't feel like she has to keep him at a distance. It's almost a soothing feeling. And she does look at her beaten champion, asking if he's alright. To which he does pass out. And Rogue should just look at him with a slight smile, as she does go to get back up. Her actually grunting and hurting with her own injuries, along with actually making sure that her nose is not busted. Now, with that, she would sit around the campfire and eat with the warbound. And we do have Midoriya, who, after drifting off to sleep, does begin to think about the 8 months he can't remember. And he does see the tail end of it, as we do have Charles Xavier sitting around a table of men. And whenever the idea to allow the Hulk and Izuku Midoriya off-world is put into place, he's smiling. A sinister smile, along with the eyes of a man who isn't Charles Xavier. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.